Elevate Tower, afternoon, Red 10 Airborne, Kona Harbor, Kilo.
I'm sorry, who's ready for the harbor departure?
All right, everybody, here we go.
Departure, Red 10 Airborne.
Red 10, departure on ramp, terminus, use caution, and join the harbor, cross runway 21.
Departing Airborne, owners, cross the 3, joining the harbor, Red 10.
Tower, Red 6 and Airborne, also request Tyler, Kilo.
Red 6, departure terminus, use caution, follow company, join the harbor.
Follow company, join harbor, owners, Red 6.
Twilight 702, short of 17, ready to go.
Twilight 702, low down without delay flight, heading out 110, runway 17, code takeoff, traffic about 5 miles per hour, Gulfstream.
Okay, without delay, heading 110, curve takeoff 17, Twilight 702.
And Gulfstream 5, Mike Delta, traffic is a Global Express that's departing runway 17, approach, I will take runway now.
Roger, Michael.
All right, well, coming up to the big Willy Willy Harbor ahead. This is where the biggest boats come in, like barges with goods for the island, and then cruise ships too. This would be the inter-island ship, so it's here every week on Thursday and Friday.
Is that the Norwegian?
It is, yeah. Norwegian Cruise Line Pride of America. Then we sometimes get some NCLs from like Tahiti even.
Oh, that's different.
Let's see, Huleia River in the corner of the harbor, one of the river kayaking options on the island, not as famous as Wailua River. This one is known for a famous movie. Up that river is where Indiana Jones flew away from those guys chasing him in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. And more than 100 movies and TV shows have been filmed on the island. We'll see a variety of those spots today.
Wind check.
Winds 140 at 6.
Roger.
Twilight 0702, heading 110, contact ACS and have a good flight.
Thank you, good day, Twilight 702.
Always 11 Carter's Point.
Morning, Glenn, preaching crew. We'll see you in a bit.
Talk to you later. This beautiful ridge area to begin. This is called Haupu Ridge, meaning happy memories in Hawaiian. Beautiful. Right, a great area. Most people don't even get to see this side. Maybe if you're seated on the left side when you come into the island, but it's a route that the helicopters don't take. They fly a shorter one west of the airport, so they skip this and all of the South Shore. And this is also private property, which makes it tough to explore on foot, certainly. Owned by the Waterhouse family. If you saw that movie called The Descendants, George Clooney in it, loosely based on this family. Larger beach below called Kipukai, where they landed the airplane in the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights. Yeah, and then the second Jurassic Park, a little girl found some small dinosaurs on that beach right in the beginning of the movie. Some more neat beaches you can access from the South Shore. Poipu area, if you take the dirt road past the Grand Hyatt.
Ferry out here.
Gonna bring you out to the L-shaped beach ahead.
Fun.
It's called Mahalapu Beach. Again, a great view from that corner. And if you want to visit, you can just park at the left end where all that red dirt is. That's CJM Staples, where they do the horseback riding tours. But that will give you a short walk to the beach, and you can also look down into that cave in the trees called Makauai Cave, where they filmed the Fountain of Youth scene in the 4th Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Curious how much it disrupts the locals when there's movie making going on.
I would say with where they usually shoot, very little. If anything, it disrupts it mostly for us tour operators, because they'll put up like an area they request you not to fly over, just because then they have to stop filming for the airplane noise and stuff. But even then, they're, at least since I've been here, they've been pretty good about not being in an area that's super frequented. I think since I've been here, they filmed the Fast and Furious spin-off series Hobbs and Shaw. That was back in that area we just passed, and also the movie Jungle Cruise. There was one other, it might come to me later. But I see this bigger beach we just passed. That's called Shipwreck Beach, the big green-roofed Grand Hyatt behind it. That's Kauai's largest resort. A little bit rougher water at that one, so more of a surfing beach than swimming. Point 11, Poipu. The Poipu Beach Park, all 3 of these beaches. When people say Poipu, they often mean this one that looks like it has the island off of it. So-called Mile High, great for swimming and snorkeling especially. And then monk seals and sea turtles will lie on the beach every single day at some point, especially around sunrise or sunset. The turtles sleep on the beach, so it's not uncommon to see more than a dozen of them. I heard the other night there were like 36 of them on the beach. Wow. Again, no private beaches in Hawaii. Pretty easy to access most of these South Shore beaches. And then a nice feature of this island, there are very few places that you need to pay for parking. At the end of the private golf course, it's Lauai Bay, Allerton Botanical Gardens. Go up along the river in the valley, which you can take tours of. That's where you'd find those trees that had the big white roots where they found the dinosaur eggs in the original Jurassic Park. A nice time to tour is to see all those purple bougainvillea flowers blooming. Beautiful.
What's it on? High velocity, climb on top of the world. Lanai traffic, about 445, 5 miles, 5. 3, Lanai traffic.
Are they growing taro down here?
Not in this area. This would all be the coffee farm. Taro they always have growing in the standing water, so biggest taro farms are up on the North Shore. This is our rainier side, but this will be the Kauai Coffee Company plantation. That's 4 million trees, about 3,100 acres of land.
We were playing in the sun.
Traffic,
we were having so much fun on a white sandy beach of Hawaii. The sound of the ocean soothes my restless soul.
Put it on top of the road, 52.
Sound of the ocean rocks me all night long. summer days.
You get above the coffee, you really appreciate the size of it. It goes way out the left side. Along the curve in the road, there's a visitor center. They'll take a free tour of the coffee, get a bunch of free samples. And then the bay out there beyond the farm, that's Port Allen, where most of those catamaran boat tours leave from. You guys do a boat ride at all this trip? Not this time? Sure.
Right base, runway 09, full stop, Port Allen.
Rocks me all night.
Would you say that's something that we would have to do if we come back?
Aside from seeing it from the air, that's my favorite tour.
Okay.
Yep, that's, again, they can be pretty rough.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, northwest Hawaiian Islands water gets pretty rough. But winter time especially, that's when the north side gets so wavy, I guess you'd say. Right, waves reaching like 15 to 20, 30, 40, 50 feet high even. So you might not get into Poly Coast if you come in winter. The other side of that is that's when the whales are around. So maybe some whale watching in winter, but summertime, calmest water up there, that's when like the small Zodiac boats can get on and go inside the sea caves. That's pretty exciting.
Sounds pretty neat.
Right? Crossed over the main highway just behind us that makes the letter C shape. Around the island's perimeter, no roads go across the Poly Coast. Yeah, really no paved roads go to the middle of the island. About 82% of Kauai is still uninhabited today. Thus we are leaving behind civilization for a while.
I know, good. You can pass me whenever I pick up the wrong head that I like make up your Tuesday, so whatever.
Always loving Alexander. About to fly west over this big green Hanapepe Valley. All of Hanapepe is privately owned by the Robinson family. Now, this single family owns about 20% of the entire island. Had it for about 150 years, made their fortune in the sugar cane industry. They really kept this upslope land all natural, so all these waterfalls we'll see in the valley are only visible by air.
Wow.
And there's a bunch of them coming up on your right side, including a 400-footer down low by the river called Manavaiopuna Falls. Yeah, Manavaiopuna, more famously known as the Jurassic Falls. This one where they landed the helicopter in the first Jurassic Park.
Pretty.
Waterfalls all over the place. We'll see them all over the island. No way to hike in here because of the private land, but we'll see other waterfalls people hike to, and then some you can just go see from the road. 27 west of Manavaiopuna, climbing west through 3.4.
Touchdown, Achilles, down 50.
Lots of big changes in the scenery. We go to the west, larger, deeper valleys carved out by all that rain off the top of the island. So you'll see rivers or riverbeds in the bottom of each individual valley. With all the recent rain, they probably will all be rivers. But this huge valley we're approaching is called Olokele Canyon. And all of Olokele still belongs to the Robinson family, all the way to the back even, so pretty amazing. Starting to look similar to Waimea Canyon, however, that's still another maybe 5 miles ahead.
What's up, Marcus?
Hey, how's it going, Max?
Good day now.
Oh, perfect weather for now.
Yeah, right. We're just kind of mid-canyon, Olokele here. We're at 2.8 downstream.
Roger.
Helicopter lower right.
Yeah, there's a couple of them down there. And see how rugged the landscape is, why there are no roads. Through the middle, such tough terrain, and then where it finally flattens out on top, that's a big plateau that with all the rain is essentially a big swamp. All the Alakai Swamp, the source of all these waterfalls, really why so many of them never dry up. And then it's also home to some of the rarest plants and rarest birds on Earth. 8 types of forest birds up there that are found only in Hawaii. And 6 of those 8 types are found only on top of this one island. So I love to hike up there and try find them to take pictures. It can be accessed from the Waimea Canyon Road.
Heaven for photographers.
It is, yeah. It kind of turns you into a photographer, I think, living here.
Kauai line to sign report.
Just about to leave behind the private land and see the Robinson family's hunting cabin in the hills to the right. They have to helicopter in there. And they'll spend a few days hunting pigs, goats, and black-tailed deer. Out into Waimea Canyon. Think of it like it's 4 major valleys. Check out Waialae Valley with Waialae waterfalls tucked in the back below. Almost switchbacks to it.
This is a story of a tragic event that happened in the olden days, long time ago. This song is for the little, if not the last, Hawaiian fishing village in the state of Hawaii. This one's for Minoli'i and his people. Meke aloha pomehana.
Just gorgeous everywhere you look. In some areas of the canyon here, about 3,700 feet deep.
Beautiful.
And such colors, a little bit different color. This has been all rainy, so you have a little bit more of that, I don't know if you want to call it a maroon color, but a little darker than the bright dry stuff. All those horizontal lines in the rock, you can see those are individual lava flows stacked up on each other long ago when Kauai was still an active volcano. Easily one of the best parts of visiting Kauai, driving the road to the canyon straight ahead. You guys make that trip at all?
No, we were talking about it. If
Okay.
we didn't get in the air,
Sure.
we're going to do that, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to beat the aerial view, but it's still spectacular up there. We'll fly right over the road ahead, paved all the way, lots of lookouts and hiking trails. Yeah, from a couple of the lookouts, you can see across the valley to a big set of waterfalls back on our right here, 800-foot Waipo'o Falls. This one has its own popular hike out to the top of them. You'll likely see some people on that red ridge. Yeah, I see somebody about 3/4 of the way up it.
Is this an observatory over here on the ridge, or?
Well, up kind of midway to the top, that's some military radars. Air National Guard and such. Further up, that golf ball looking thing at the end is the NASA observatory. Not open to the public, but told it's mostly used for weather observation rather than mapping the night sky. 0.7 upper mic res 4.8. There goes that road below, so you can appreciate it. Gets out to the edge. Not a difficult drive, but about halfway up you lose cell phone service, so if you needed directions to a hike or something, you gotta look that up beforehand.
Upper mic res right there.
Back down to our left side, the southwest corner of the island. That's the longest, largest beach in Hawaii, called Polihale, about 17 miles long. You can drive way up to the north end. Part of it's a Navy base. Do missile testing every so often. You can actually see with the clear air today, there's 3 islands out there. Starting on the right, the little Lehua Rock, that's a bird sanctuary. The Seabird's Nest, Ni'ihau Island, the larger one, is owned by that same Robinson family. Maybe 70 Hawaiians live out there. And then way out there sits Kaula Rock. That's another bird sanctuary that sometimes used for like practice bombing runs with the military. Continue towards the ocean, right over these cliffs ahead. We do have some sunshine poking out here. These cliffs ahead in some areas more than 4,000 feet tall. Now this will slowly be opening up to the entirety of what you could call the crown jewel of Kauai, our famous Napali coast. Gorgeous Napali coast without a single cloud on it here. Napali simply means the cliffs. And Hawaiian carved out over many years and visible by air, by boat, or a variety of hiking trails. All 4 of these major ridges have their own trails right out to the edges. Those top-down views. Several beaches on the coast. This one we're approaching here that looks kind of like it's 2 beaches. If you look carefully, you can tell there's a tunnel through that rock in the middle by the waterfall. Yeah, so it is 1 beach, but the only legal way to get to Honopu is by swimming. As that one's a sacred or holy site, the ancient Hawaiians would bury their royalty on the cliffs behind it, and that's why you can't even land a kayak or surfboard on it. Those spikes in the rock, again nicknamed the cathedrals, they lead into Kalalau Valley. The largest valley on the coast. At the end of the road up the canyon, you'd be standing on the highest rim in the back, about 4,200 feet high. More angles on the coast. The whole Nepali is about 16 miles long. A nice light wind, so that's really oftentimes the biggest factor of how pleasant the boat ride is. Even if there's some decent sized swells, if there's light winds, it just go a little further offshore, but I'm guessing most of the boats were scared away from all the rain earlier in the day, just like we were for most of our flights. Bit wider view of these cathedrals. Below the cathedrals, you'll see Kalalau Beach, which is the end of the famous Kalalau hiking trail, more than 11 miles each way. Up the coast ahead, often ranked in the top 10 most dangerous hikes on Earth. Kate, I'm just off your left at 1.9. Right. Max 11 off Red Hill 2000. If you look carefully at the bottom of the coast, you can see the trail. Kind of looks like a real thin red line down low where the foliage ends. I often see people in this area as well, but you can maybe tell there's not much to it. Quite narrow, big drop-offs of the ocean, and then as we get these big rainstorms, it's not uncommon for people to get kind of stuck out there a few extra days having to let the streams reside a bit.
Test turns, Molly High, red 6.
This Hanakoa Valley, about the halfway point, the big Kalalau Trail. The back of it, you'll see the 1,400-foot Hanakoa waterfalls. An even taller, thinner one, this next valley ahead of it. Waiahuakua Falls, more like 2,300 feet. Although Waiahuakua here is often completely dried up. Nice to see it charged up after the rain.
By the way, I love your playlist.
Oh, thank you. I think it
Nice.
goes with the scenery pretty well.
Yeah.
Helps set the mood. At the mouth of this valley sits Hanakapiai Beach. That's the first 2-mile mark of that big trail. Now, before it gets particularly dangerous, so just a really popular day hike. Going there and back, although not recommended for swimming with the strong currents and waves and such.
The sun is out.
Yeah, how about that? Always 11 KA straight through 2.2. KA Beach on the corner below, that's where the road ends and the big trail begins. And you do need a reservation to go up there, which can be tough to get. The parking reservation you normally would have to book 30 days ahead. Although there's a shuttle that's typically much easier. In the busy summertime, you even have to book the shuttle like 10 to 14 days ahead. But right now you could probably get shuttle reservations for even the next day. Now sits Tunnels Beach. Notice that enormous reef off of it. Famous for snorkeling and diving when it's really nice and calm, which would mostly be summertime once more. But a wonderful view out on that point all the time. Tiny community of Hyena, about 400 residents. Doesn't even feel like a town when we drive past it. Because of our normal trade winds, this is the rainier side of the island, so it stays green and jungly all year long.
Someday
Right on the center of the North Shore. Peek on our left side to see the Hanalei Bay. About 2 miles of beaches through it. The quieter town of Princeville across the bay, with Hanalei town on the inland side. Lots of shops and restaurants. And while many of the North Shore beaches become too rough for much water activity, a nice exception to that would be by the pier out near the river. Much more calm and protected. Nice sandy bottom, and you get some of these wonderful mountain views. And then all those flooded fields down by Hanalei, that's where they grow taro. You're asking about that before, Sue. A big operation up here. They grow 60% of the whole state of Hawaii's taro in this one general area. Agriculture, the number 2 source of revenue for the island behind the tourism.
Did drive up north yesterday and saw some of this.
Oh, you did? Cool.
Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself,
Hi, Saddle, Red 6.
what a wonderful world.
A little bit closer view of these kind of 3 major mountains you'd see from the beach at Hanalei.
In the sky,
First one on the right called Mamalahoa. You see that narrow waterfall down the middle, just same name, Mamalahoa Falls.
shaking,
Like someone on passing Mamalahoa 3.2 for thy saddle.
they really
I got you back there, Marcus. We're going to climb the waterfall over the top of Nalokama.
Cool.
I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know.
This taller mountain ahead called Namolokama, sometimes mistaken for Waialeale because it's also tall and cloudy and such. But this one's a bit shorter, 4,421 feet high. We'll see Waialeale ahead, but check out these Waiole waterfalls right off the top. Well over 3,000 feet tall. This is my favorite waterfall in all of Hawaii.
Like a lemon drops high above.
It never quite dries up. It'll thin out a bit here and there in the summertime especially, but always enjoy views. Waiole means the joyful waters or the singing waters.
Over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't I?
Up into the Hanalei River Valley. This goes right up the middle of the island. All state land. So in theory, open to the public, there are just no roads. And there are really no hikes to the bottom. But as we fly it, keep an eye out in these lower sections for more waterfalls. Those low-down ones kind of talked about earlier never quite dry up. The higher scars just show up for a few hours after the big rains. see that Honolulu River curve around into this corner to the right. There's two waterfalls next to each other called the Twin Falls.
Max, you can see Oahu.
Just looking at that, it looks like you can see Molokai too.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. North Wall, 3.2.
But again, the Twin Falls like the headwaters of the Honolulu River that eventually ends up in the bay by the pier. Right up to the heart of the island, Waialeale, just next to us here. Mentioned before, one of the rainiest places on Earth up top, so more waterfalls. Just beyond this next ridge, you'll see into the near vertical walls of Waialeale Crater. Now these climb straight up more than 5,000 feet high, again to the true summit called Kauai, 5,243 feet.
Upper Mike. Descent over the world, descending to south wall. For the north wall, descending out of 5.5. I got speed over the top.
Always up and over the south wall, 5,000 climbing for the top.
Copy, Mark.
Alright, gotcha. Down the south wall of Waialeale, some more cool waterfalls. This area will be known as Waiahi. But we're going to continue climbing and give you what is the very rarest view on Kauai, right over the top of Waialeale. Max dipping below us in the helicopter there. Notice the color change as we climb up here. Whereas you'd probably imagine the rainiest spot on Earth to be a lush green paradise, it's not quite like that. Certain parts absolutely like that, but notice it kind of browns out, gets all this boggy, spongy looking terrain. And again, this is usually well hidden by clouds. I would say on average we'll fly over the summit once every 3 months. Nobody gets up here. Most people who live on Kauai their whole lives never get this view because people don't really hike up here. It can be done, but it's more than 20 miles round trip through bogs and swamps and most likely a cloudy view at the end.
So we're very lucky, huh?
This is as lucky as it gets, honestly.
Wow.
Below the right wingtip, that little bump in the terrain, that's Kauai, the tallest point. So it's not like your idyllic triangular mountain, but it's just a slightly taller point.
Wow, it's a beautiful view up this high.
Right, it's so cool. It's cool from here, you can see everything. The whole island, every shore. And then kind of from our view, the left side of the top, you see there's that little structure. That's the rain gauge. Able to report wirelessly, solar powered. After big storms, it's not uncommon to see 24 inches of rain, something like that. Just even overnight. And then notice that little pond to the left of the rain gauge. That's called Waialeale Lake. It's not much of a lake, but the ancient Hawaiians used to hike up here and leave offerings here. And then beyond that sheet sheer drop off, kind of that far corner. That's where you'd find what's nicknamed the Weeping Wall, kind of tucked in that dark corner. You can hike up there as well. It requires quite a trip, but might see tucked in there what's called the Weeping Wall, just kind of that permanently trickling waterfall.
Where is my love? Come on, please answer me. Come on,
Be a little bit longer descent here as we were up so high. Try to remember to keep up with your ears yawning and all that good stuff. But you'll see a lot more of these super flat top trees below. So it kind of look like broccoli from above. Those are called albizia trees, not native but brought to Hawaii in the early 1900s. Something to do with erosion control during the sugarcane days. Yeah, beautiful to look at, but extremely invasive. These trees can grow up to an inch per day. Yeah, so they spread everywhere and become very weak and break off in the damage even, or in the wind, causing a lot of damage. So some areas they cut these trees down and burn them for electricity, and then plant a neater variety of Australian eucalyptus trees ahead. Kind of look like rows of pine trees from up here. Just grown for renewable energy.
6,000, scattered 8,000, ceiling broken, 1-1
Makes me think of the basic kudzu vine we have in Georgia. I think it came from Japan, but it can grow an inch a day too.
Wow.
Takes over everything.
Right.
Party to Honolulu until further notice. Use caution for birds in the vicinity of the airport. Advise on this contact you have with Lima.
Now the joke in Atlanta is the kudzu will grab slow-moving cars.
What's that?
The joke in Atlanta is the kudzu will grab slow-moving cars.
Yeah.
The drivers aren't careful.
Airspear 7674, heading 110, contact ATF Center, safe flight.
Heading 110, ATF Center, okay, Airspear 7674.
You can hear the voice
Scattered 8, broken 1-1000.
Tower, Red 6, saddle.
Red 6, land airborne on rescues, caution.
Red 6.
Approaches are near.
35, Red 11, reliable.
Red 11, my tower report, saddle.
Flow control is in effect for all aircraft. Party to Honolulu until further notice. Use caution for birds in the vicinity of the airport. Advise on this contact you have a Lima.
Larry Tower, wings 11, inbound north of Lakes for the Falls, Lima.
Wings 11, Larry Tower report, leaving the falls. Got 2 red copters ahead at 1100 and 1800.
Okay, I'm looking for traffic report leaving the Falls, wings 11.
It looks like they're going direct to the saddle. They're about 2 miles south here.
Roger. We're going to come around the south fork of the Wailua River in a moment. See one more set of waterfalls that you can drive to if you haven't already. Kind of down in those fields to the right, there's those white sheds. It's kind of behind the cloud right now. Just next to those will be the Wailua Falls, about 15 minutes from the airport. 183 feet tall. And from where you'd park the car, you're on the side of them, so they'll often look like just 2 waterfalls. From head on, though, you'll see typically 3, although with some recent rain, it's likely to be maybe 3 and a couple bonus streams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for completing.
Yeah, I'll say it. Yeah, really nice one. That one's also nicknamed the Fantasy Island Falls, featured in the opening sequence for that older show.
To watch that.
Shadow Fred 11.
We're at 11, land everyone on rescues, caution.
Airborne under Fred 11.
Wings 11 leaving the falls.
Wings 11, report left base runway 3. Air correction, report base runway 21.
For base for 2 on Wings 11. Headed out towards the east shore of the island, almost all beaches. Kauai has the most beach per area of all the islands, right around 50% of our shore natural beach. Such a clear day, you can see off our 1 o'clock the island of Oahu there. And those mountains are more than 80 miles away, so wow, like cool.
We were out on the beach last night, and we thought we could see like some lights over there from.
Oh, really?
Like just very dim off in the distance.
Cool.
Dewey Tower, Safari 3 is on pad 9 with Lima, Kona Harbor.
Safari 3, Dewey Tower, south pad clear for takeoff, flight Kona Harbor.
South pad clear for takeoff, Kona Harbor, Safari 3.
Wings 11 right base for 2-1.
Wings 11, runway 21, clear to land. There will be a 717 taking 17 for departure.
Roger, clear land runway 21, Wings 11. Making our way back to land. Make sure you got those seatbelts fastened one more time.
Flight heading 150, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
1504 heading, clear for takeoff, runway 17, Hawaii 4.
Heading 150, contact ACO Center, safe flight.
Alright, 150 on the heading.